Buenos dias, amigos! I've returned to one of my favorite countries in the world and one of my favorite cities in the world. In my eyes, the most underrated mega city in the world. I'm back in Mexico City, the capital of Mexico. Now, this city, with a population of over 20 million people, is the biggest in the Spanish-speaking world and the 6th largest in the world. And in the Western Hemisphere, it is only topped in terms of population by Sao Paulo, Brazil, making it the biggest city in North America. Now, in my eyes, Mexico City is the best mega city in the world. And today, my first day back here, I'm going to show you why I love this city so much and why you should come here. I've got a bit of a cough, a rough cough, a dry cough, because I got sick in Cali from the shitty AC in my hostel. I hate ACs, I always get sick from them. But we don't care, because now I'm back in my favorite country, I'm back in my favorite mega city, I'm back in Mexico City, and Joe Jackson is back in business. Vamos Cabrones! This, by the way, guys, is the most famous square of Mexico City, the Zocalo Square, where demonstrations and festivities take place, alongside that giant, beautiful Mexican flag. And right here, we've got the presidential palace, where, believe it or not, the president still lives with his family, still today, and has been since Mexico became an independent country and republic. And check out that beautiful waving Mexican flag.
Viva Mexico!
And right, Viva Mexico, amigo, Viva Mexico!
Viva Mexico!
Viva Mexico, cabrones!
Exacto!
Eso! And the people are flipping legends here, as you can tell. And this is the cathedral of the city. So, my plan today is to show you the best side of the city, showing you why it is one of the most tremendous cities in the world and why you should absolutely come here once in your lifetime at least. In my eyes, the most underrated city in the world. That's going to be the title of the video. I know that already now. Alright guys, Mexico is obviously a very popular place for tourists to visit. But Mexico City ain't the most popular place to visit as a foreigner, especially for Europeans. Because the city, the most popular region to visit in Mexico, I would even guess like 70 to 80% of the people that visit Mexico as a country every year are only going to Quintana Roo, to the Caribbean Sea, which obviously boasts a world wonder, the Chichen Itza. But I've been there myself, it's super touristy, super overpriced, and I didn't like it. I've been to many places in Mexico and liked that one the least. And Mexico City is actually one of my favorite places. And it's not like there are no tourists at all here, but there could be much more. There could be many, many more. Speaking of mega cities with the size of Mexico City, Mexico City is probably has less tourists every year than, for example, Paris or New York or London. And I'm going to show you today that Mexico City is absolutely worth a visit and that you shouldn't be scared, because there are so many preconceptions about Mexico and Mexico City that you should be scared here and stuff like this, unsafe. For me, it is the safest city in Latin America that I've been to and one of the safest in the world. And the people here of Mexico City, by the way, those are the typical pink taxis of Mexico City, which I reckon you shouldn't take if you want to save money. Stick to Uber and public transport. Public transport here costs like 20 cents. Yesterday I took the metro from the airport down here to the center, which took about 1.5 hours, and it cost me like 20 cents. So stick to the public transport and to Ubers. Much cheaper than taxis. But anyway, they are super authentic. The pink taxis of Mexico City, of CDMX, Ciudad de Mexico. Well, yeah, the people here of Mexico City are called the Chilangos. Like everywhere in Latin America, the people from each city have their nicknames. And here the people of Mexico City are the Chilangos. And I'm now going to show you the best tacos that the Chilangos are eating every day. The Chilangos of this part of Mexico City, obviously. No, gracias, gracias, no necesito. I don't need an optician now. Thankfully not. Stay hydrated, guys, always. And I'm now at one of Mexico's famous Oxxos, which you obviously know when you've been to Mexico before. And Oxxo is not only a supermarket chain, it's not only the biggest supermarket chain of the country, but Oxxo also provides SIM cards. And I highly recommend when you come to Mexico for a longer time and need a SIM card, to first get to your city where you are staying and then get to the first Oxxo and get your SIM card there. Don't get a SIM card at the airport, because they're selling them for like 3 times more or 4 times more than here at the Oxxo. I've got myself a SIM card, a Oxxo SIM card yesterday for like $10, and it's unlimited GB for a whole month, for like 27 days or 28 days, I don't remember. And yeah, 4 weeks, unlimited gigabytes for $10. So highly recommend Oxxo. Alright guys, we've now made it to the tacos place I've showed you, I've told you about. This is it. It is Tacos Victoria, they are called, and you should absolutely come here. Best tacos in town. Alright guys, my delicious chicken tacos have already arrived. Check it out, best tacos in town. Wowzers. Of course, this is like the most famous Mexican street food that you could have. And you might be thinking like, there's so many other delicious dishes in Mexico, and it's true, but I like tacos and they're the quickest, and I want to show you guys this particular tacos place because these tacos in my eyes are the best in town, the best I've had. And you got tacos at every corner here, and surely cheaper than this one. These ones are like €4, a bit more than $4. You got cheaper ones here, but these ones are delicious. And you've got your lime here. You're gonna put your lime on there, you're gonna squeeze your lime. Delicious, delicious. Then you've got 4 sauces here. This is the spiciest one, so I'm only gonna use that one, salsa verde, because I love spicy. And this is a bit less spicy, but still tasty. And this is kind of sweet, like, I don't use that one. So, right guys, I'm gonna smash these tacos now, these delicious tacos. And one of the reasons I love Mexico, the tacos, I love them. One thing though, I don't like about Mexico, is that the people are lovely, don't get me wrong, but the people always think that gringos cannot take spicy foods. And I'm gonna prove them wrong. We guys are gonna prove to them that the gringos can take spicy foods. Also us gringos like spicy foods. Because whenever you order something in Mexico and you're a gringo, they're gonna tell you, don't use that sauce, it's super spicy, but I love that sauce. So let's tuck in now to that super spicy taco. See guys, the spiciest sauce on the table. And me, the gringo, is gonna prove to the Mexicans that us gringos can take spicy foods. Love it. Me gusta mucho. When you're in Mexico and you love spicy food, you're in heaven. And always use the spiciest sauce. If you really like spicy food, always use this one with your tacos, the salsa verde. Love it. Alright guys, provecho, I'll see you later. Right guys, this is like a very touristic shopping street here in the center of Mexico City, and right ahead of us is this tower, this massive tower, the Torre Latinoamericana as it's called, the Latin American Tower. And this tower, guys, is the biggest in Latin America, hence why it is called Torre Latinoamericana. And guess what, guys, there's a viewpoint up there on the highest floor, which you get the best views of Mexico City. Shall we head up? I think so, yes. Let's check it out. Check it out, guys. We've made it to the top of the highest tower in Latin America, the Torre Latinoamericana. Check it out. Those are the views that you get from up here. Over the concrete jungle of Mexico City, of Ciudad de Mexico. Check it out. Wowzers. And down here, guys, by the way, we can see one of the prettiest buildings of the city, the Palacio de Bellas Artes, the Palace of Beautiful Arts, literally. And it's an art gallery, it houses an art gallery, it's a huge artsy museum. And yeah, check out the building. I'm not that much into art personally, but I mean, from the outside, it's super pretty, man. One of the prettiest buildings of this city, and probably in the world. I've got to admit that in Europe, I've been to many pretty and impressive cities, but this is one of the prettiest buildings I've seen in the world, up there with the prettiest. And there's an incredible tower here, this gigantic tower here, which we are standing on right now, the Torre Latinoamericana, Latin America's highest tower, has a whopping 42 floors. We are now at the very top of them. It also houses a gym, several offices and a museum. This incredible city, this incredible gigantic city houses the highest tower of Latin America, which we are standing on right now, and thus one of the best viewpoints of Latin America, I guess. And it also houses the world's biggest football stadium, the Aztec Stadium, the legendary Aztec Stadium. We won't be going there today, but we'll be going there soon, stay tuned. And also, guys, it houses another very, very interesting place, the world's biggest urban park. Let's check it out. Esa es la salida.
Sí, te cortas las aletas de bajar. ¿Subiste al último piso?
Ah, sí. Sí, hasta el último piso. Gracias. Of course, you've got to pay entry to get up there to the Mirador, to the viewpoint. But guys, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. I've already been there. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have paid the entry. I wouldn't have paid the €6, $7 to get up here. But I mean, I wanted to show it to you guys. So, because it's you, I'll do it again. Right, guys, I'm back in the street now, downstairs. Here you can see the beautiful Palacio de Bellas Artes, which I'll show you from upstairs. And right ahead of me, guys, is something very interesting. Look at what that woman is selling here. Señora, ¿qué es eso?
Chapulines, amiga.
Son insectos. Son ricos.
No, bueno, mucha gente los come con limón, sal y salsa.
Pero no son ricos.
Sí, son ricos también.
Ah, sí, ok.
Puede ser hasta en una salsa así como que los huelen así como en el cortaquete. Son chapulines, si quieres probarlos.
Shall I try it? Ah, no. I already ate insects like ants, but this looks a bit tougher. It's like worms. I think I'm gonna pass. Me gustan los insectos y las cosas especiales para probar, pero eso no sé, no tengo confianza. Pero gracias. As much as I like ants, I think with worms I'm gonna pass. Right guys, after all the walking over the past few weeks, I reckon that my shoes, the only ones which are fraud and the only ones that I own, need a clean. They definitely need a clean. So when in Mexico City, this is one of the huge advantages. So for €1.50, so for a bit under $2, Javier here, the jefe Javier, is cleaning my shoes.
Qué bien.
Qué bien.
¿Cuántos? 10.
Y los zapatos van a estar blancos como nuevos.
Ándale,
They'll be like I just bought them. Sí, porque uso esos para todo, para caminar, para deportes, para salir, para bailar, todo. And now they'll be ready for the nightlife again. They'll be as white as they were on the first day in which I've bought them. My feelers. Mexican shoe cleaners are the best in the world, by the way. Our shoes definitely needed a fix. And they've got it, check it out. They're looking brand new, thanks to Javier. Gracias, Javier.
Oh, mira.
Muy chingón.
Muy chico, muy limpio.
Wow, super limpio.
Sí.
Now, if there's two things that I could criticize in this city, Mexico City, a city which I love, it is firstly that, considering the size of the city, there aren't enough bins, trash bins around. Sometimes you'd be walking for 20 minutes without finding the trash bin. And the second thing, which I don't like about this city, is something which we are about to experience together now. The metro of Mexico City. Let's check it out, guys. Gracias. Right, guys. The metro of Mexico City is one of the dustiest, smelliest, and most crowded I've ever seen. But what is pretty cool is that this card here, basically it is also one of the cheapest metros or public transports I've ever taken around the world. Like this card here, the metro card, you can load it up or charge it up, however you want to call it, in every store or every metro station for whatever amount you want it to. And basically one ride always costs 5 Mexican pesos, which is about 20 cents. So, nothing better to save money when you travel than using public transportation. And where do we need to go? Right, guys, so basically the metro which I wanted to take, show you guys, which we have to take to get to the park, is closed today. They're working today. So, some refurbishment work going on, so instead we're going to take the bus. Check out a Mexican bus, guys. Back in Luxembourg as a child, I wasn't cool enough to sit at the back of the bus. But here in Mexico City, I am. I've got to say, a much better experience than the metro. We'll be taking the metro another time, guys. Don't worry, you'll see the metro of Mexico City.
Para eso trabajamos, para darnos nuestros gustos. Y mi carnal roban por necesidad. De seguro los demás por gusto salimos a trabajar. Saben mejor cuando con sudor se gana. De este lado en el negocio emprendiendo con la botana. Por aquí mi pana, mira, esa es la clave. Si es que andan vendiendo, ojalá que todo acabe. Porque se la saben, mexicanos le buscamos. Y allá hasta el fondo, muchas gracias por grabarnos. Pero aquí estamos, por supuesto, rápido lo que veo. En la esquina una rima para el que da de paseo. Aunque lo creo en la calle o en el internet. Para la gente en la Condesa o aquí en Chapultepec. Y como ven, ejecuto el plan. Caemos desde el cielo como en atacó titán.
Right, guys, we've made it to the Bosque de Chapultepec Park. Now, when you think of massive urban parks, massive urban green areas inside a city, you probably think of Central Park in New York, the world famous Central Park of New York, or Hyde Park in London. But this park here, Chapultepec Park, is more than double the size of Central Park of New York. This park houses 4 museums, 4 huge museums, maybe even more, I might be wrong on that one. A huge castle, one of the only castles in Latin America, from which you get like the best views after, of course, Torre Latinoamericana. You get the best views from there over the whole city. And the zoo, check it out. It's easy, quite easy to get lost inside this massive green area here. You've got a zoo, you've got lakes, you've got the National Museum of History, you've got the Quinta Colorado, I don't know what that is, and the Baños de Moctezuma. This park is like a small town, actually. Actually bigger than small towns, I reckon. It's so calm and laid back here. Would you believe that we're still in the middle of a 20 million plus city? I reckon if you are in Mexico City and want to get away from the constant hustle and bustle of this 20 million people megacity, then no better place to come than here, to this massive Leviathan of a park. And check it out, this park is also famous for this. The famous squirrels of Chapultepec Park. And the squirrels of Mexico City aren't camera shy, as you can see. Qué linda, sí.
Pero sí se avienta, ¿eh? Sí se avientan. Se dejan
¿Sí?
ir, sí.
Oh, peligroso.
Tienen comida.
Ah, sí.
Galletas, aquí hay galletas.
Those are malandro squirrels. So guys, if you're in Mexico City and want to take a break from the hectic hustle and bustle of this Leviathan of a city, you know what to do. You come to this gigantic park, Chapultepec Park, the world's biggest, and you can relax, feed some squirrels, go to some museums. There are several around here. There might even be more than 4. You can go to the castle, you can go to the zoo. You've got loads of choice here. You can even go on a boat tour on the lake, on a massive lake which is inside the park. It's like a whole city, in the middle of the city. Right guys, this is also one of the prettiest monuments of the city and one of the most important from a patriotic perspective. The altar a la patria, the altar to the patria, to the motherland. A patriotic monument here, and the entrance at one of the entrances of this massive park, of gigantic Chapultepec Park. And I reckon that this place is also a good place to finish this video here. This first video in Mexico, and the first video here in Mexico City, my favorite mega city. I hope that today I've convinced you to visit this city, because in the West this place is not recognized as a place that you have to see. I mean, Mexico is one of the most visited countries in the world, especially in Latin America. It might even be number 1 in terms of tourism in Latin America. But Mexico City, its massive capital, which we've explored today, is not its number 1 tourist destination. In fact, many people avoid it because they are scared that it's dangerous or that it's too crowded, too hectic. But no guys, in terms of security, safety, I feel a lot safer here than in European megacities, a lot safer than in London, a lot safer than in Paris. And yes guys, I'll see you in the next one here from Mexico City, this wonderful place which you should put on your bucket list and visit. Viva Mexico, viva Chilengos, y viva Ciudad de México. Hasta luego, cabrones. Right guys, it's time for dinner, and I've come to one of the most popular places to eat out in Mexico City, La Casa de Toño. This place is so popular that you've literally got to queue up to get in, but they've got delicious, affordable Mexican meals here. And they're spread all over the city, and I reckon when you're in Mexico City, you cannot miss out on La Casa de Toño. I obviously cannot end the video without showing you guys another one of my favorite Mexican meals. Mexico not only has great food, but it also has loads of great beers. And my favorite is called Pacifico. It's actually not from Mexico City. Mexico City also has lots of good beers, including Victoria, the most famous one, very delicious, and India, or Indio, super delicious as well. But here at Casa de Toño, they've got Pacifico, my absolute favorite in Mexico. It's from Sinaloa. It's a beer from Sinaloa, the country, or the state I should say, of El Chapo. So, cheers to Mexico, and cheers to Ciudad de Mexico, and to all the Chilangos, and to the country of Mexico. So happy to be back. Wow. Nothing better than an ice cold Pacifico. Right guys, and now my meat has arrived, check it out. Pozole. A big portion of pozole. Pozole is like a stew, a typically Mexican stew with chicken, or you can also have it with pork or beef obviously, and it's super spicy, super hot and super filling. And check it out guys, you get all of that included with salads, onions, and of course your spices here, salsa verde or guacamole this is. They've got salsa verde right here, the spicy one. So guys, all of that, including the beer, all of that came down to a price of €6, which is more than at the market in Peru or Colombia. Well, Mexico is a bit more expensive than these countries, but still, do you get this in your country for €6? This quality, I flipping love it. So, provecho. I'll tuck into this now. Here in Mexico, when something is very good, they say muy chingón. So, muy chingón. Hasta luego, cabrones. Nos vemos en la próxima video. Chao.